Welcome to the Local Success Podcast. I know this episode was delayed, but this is episode 2, and I'm with the CEO of eRevival, which is a computer waste company, Soni Sunkara. Would you like to explain give yourself, explain to the people who you are?
Hello, hey Radhavar. Nice to meet you. I know it took a while
Yeah.
to get here, but thanks for being persistent and you're doing a great job. And I am Soni Sunkara. I'm a founder of eRevival, which was started in New Jersey, and we expanded into multiple locations into New Jersey and Maryland right now. That's where my history is. We recycle electronics. We do provide IT asset disposal and data destruction services to various customers and clients, which could be government agencies, hospitals, medium to large scale businesses.
Yeah. So, computer waste, how impactful is it to this economy? Like, how impactful is it to countries to having computer waste businesses?
It is very important as far as uh, recycling of IT equipment. Primarily, they could be harmful to the local environment, and which kind of impacts in multiple various different ways uh, to our everyday lifestyle as well over a period of time. And also at the same time, if you are able to recycle them, you are able to reuse those commodities for the ever growing consumption of new
Mm,
equipment.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna start with the first set. So an e-revival. Could you share the founding story of e-revival and what specific gap in the market you identified that led you to establish the company in 2007?
So that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
uh, so at that time, I used to work for an IT company, and we did have identified that there were not many people or many companies around when you wanted to dispose of your IT electronics
Mm,
or IT devices, and so you had to pay a lot of money to find somebody. They were far and few, and barely a handful of companies, and that was the start that identified that at least there is a gap, so that and it took a couple more years later on before it was even uh, come into existence. So per se, and back then we had the electronics were much larger scale, and the size of the electronics were bigger, the TVs were bigger, the computers, more computers were used. We didn't have a whole lot of laptops. There was no tablets at that time. They were just coming in. So there was quite a bit of challenge, and also with all the CRT devices that we had at that moment, uh, which was pretty challenging. And it just a couple couple weeks into it, realized that there's started getting calls from various companies,
mm,
and then realized, oh wow, this is a big opportunity, and that's how one led to the other, and eventually here we are.
yeah. Yeah. So you basically went from just like a worker from a company to become your own founder, and that's pretty special. The second question: Your rival operates under a zero waste, zero expert policy. Could you elaborate on the operational and ethical framework that underpins that commitment?
So the primary is you don't want any electronics to go into the landfill.
Mm,
um, and so from our perspective, any electronics that come through our facility, we process them, and we send it to certain when we send it to downstream vendors, we uh, audit them and who are certified, and and so certain things we can process to the end, and certain things that we cannot, we send it through our downstream to vendors, to the refiners,
mm,
and which is where it again comes back into a circular economy. And uh, as part of it also, we are part of various certifications, follow ISO standards, and and some other certifications that are specific to e-waste. We are R2 certified facility. Um, and any electronics that come through our facility go through certain data destruction procedures as well. So this is our commitment to our customers of the so that there is zero electronics that's going to go to landfill,
Mm.
and they undergo every device that comes to our facility undergo data destruction services. No matter what, we understand that data is important, the privacy is important for everybody, and that's a philosophy, and everybody, all the staff is ingrained with that um, commitments. Uh, so
Yeah.
that's
Okay. So yeah, basically from 2007 to 2026, we've had new technologies coming, especially in a computer way. I'll just move on to the next one. So you've expanded operations across 9 states along the eastern seaboard. Wait, you've only said you said New Jersey, Maryland, right? That's it.
we have locations in New Jersey and Maryland, but we also do serve the specific states and also do surrounding states as well.
Okay. So during those we'll just redo that question. You
Okay.
have expanded operations across 9 states along the eastern seaboard. What factors guide your decisions around geographic expansions?
So the most important is in this being what are the human capabilities that we had, the infrastructure, and how much we could support. We didn't want to take on more than what we could handle.
Hmm.
Uh, and those are the key aspects that have gone into what we could do and what we could not. It's mostly our infrastructure and logistics. Uh, and also sometimes it's kind of trying to grow a little bit too fast without these capabilities is much harder, and along the process being able to keep to our primary commitments of zero landfill and
Mm.
being able to offer our services in a right way, underscoring of recycling of 100% of
Yeah.
the electronics that we receive, and providing of utmost importance and
Mm.
towards data security. So keeping these in mind, so there is, you know, that's what has defined of how far we want to go or what we could do, and and that basically helped me determine the markets that we want to serve. We didn't want to stretch ourselves too thin.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And let's go to like the business section. As a founder of eRevival, what has been the most difficult business decision you have had to make?
So there's always so over the years there's various challenges that you encounter even on a day to day, and most often than not, besides the fact that you want to grow as a business, and also the challenges that come into it, such as various situations, the energy prices going up, even currently, that kind of increases the logistics expenses quite a bit, adds another 30% to our logistics expenses. So
Mm.
how do we handle that?
Yeah.
And also, when you have these contracts in place, uh, you go into which are long-term contracts, and you go into it assuming a certain um, cost model at that point in time,
Yeah.
but the market dynamics are very volatile, and they can change. No, we don't know. The commodity prices can define the costing. The cost model kind of gets thrown out of the window sometimes. You're
Mm.
going to have ups and downs. And what do you do in those challenging situations? How do you serve your customers also? And certain situations, especially when you're in long-term contracts, you already have a fixed price, and then maybe you're not making money in certain
Yeah.
situations, but how do you want to handle that
Mm.
in certain situations? You go back to the customer. If they're willing to renegotiate, we do that. When we cannot, again, we got to suck up those situations, honor the contract, and hopefully we get an uh, rework on it the next time. So usually these are the various challenges that go through over time,
Mm.
and also it's always there's people.
Mm.
That is the most difficult, in my opinion, finding the right people for the right jobs, and also uh, it's always very challenging getting the right people.
Mm. Yeah. So yeah. So as like leadership in eRevival, how do you like how do you promote your business? Like what do you do to get people's attention on eRevival and eWaste, especially like in your business when you're starting like from a very low point, like you invested all this money into a business, like how do you advocate or like how do you promote your business to other people?
So the most important is educating people,
Mm.
right? Back in the day, we there was a lot more education about recycling of electronics and the importance of it. What would happen if you do not recycle and if it goes to a landfill?
Mm.
Um, and it does impact our day-to-day living in this way, in various, how it does impact. And that's the primary used to be the primary educational aspect back then. And as we grow into it now, as more and more people are aware of it, and even you guys right from your school, you've been uh, uh, encountering the importance of environment and keeping an environment clean, and understanding the challenge of electronics being thrown into a landfill.
Yeah.
And there's another section that's coming into it, which has always been there. That's more talking more about it as data security, and just you deleting information on your computer or a phone, it doesn't always get deleted. There's always data in there
Mm.
until that's been destroyed appropriately. So these are certain topics that we talk about. So, and also there's another newer challenge that's been evolving the last few years, is more and more lithium batteries that we use, the fires that
Mm.
cause those batteries cause. Could be anything, could cause your house to get damaged, could be somewhere else, a facility to be damaged. Even if it goes to a landfill, it can impact the landfill. So we are encountering more and more of those battery fires. So these are the things that educating people is where making them understand that's the that's how we promote ourselves, making them aware, and which obviously uh, it's a service that we provide, and we market ourselves that way.
So the next question, what advice would you give to somebody looking to start a business in the environmental service or sustainability space?
The primary goal is keep that in mind, that you know we are here for a lifetime on this planet. um, we want to return it back the way we got it, and so keeping that in mind, just don't exploit the resources, be responsible enough, and if you want to go into a specific industry, understand the challenges that they are undergoing, and focus on solving those problems.
Yeah. Okay. And when you talk about like youngsters and kind of connect to that. So when a young person gets a new phone or laptop, what is the single most important thing they should do with their old device rather than just throwing it into the trash?
The first and foremost is uh, ensure there's two things in there. We come back, which we talked about earlier. Also, the most important is data security and the battery that's
Lithium
there in that,
batteries.
which can cause fire. So you never throw it into the trash.
Mm.
And so before you even dispose of your phone, make sure you delete the data in there. Okay, you wipe, reset. If it's a phone, you reset your phone completely to factory reset. And the way the data stored in those devices is that the factory reset. If it's an Apple or a Samsung or other devices, that pretty much uh, erases all the
Mm.
data. It's unlike your old school computers or anything.
Yeah,
And we want to do that first thing, and then approach a certified recycler to recycle
like
that.
you guys.
Yes, of course, but never throw it into a trash.
Okay.
Yes.
So our last question today would be like if you were our age and you wanted to like become a business person or a business owner, like what things like could you do or like what things could kids do to start like getting into that practice or trying to become a businessman?
So it's all about. My advice would be to follow your passion, what you enjoy doing the most. It won't be a work anymore. You just enjoy doing it, however difficult or challenging it is. You still enjoy the process. So that is the most important thing. So once you identify that, and just be persistent with it,
Yeah.
and you got to be also smart and see where it's going to take you, and do not hesitate to go get advice from and wisdom from the people who are already established in that particular field. uh, I think following your passion and being persistent is the key. And you need to adapt sometimes. You want to go in a single line, it doesn't work. You adapt slightly whatever is happening and being smart about it. So that's my advice to all the youngsters. And even knowing you over the years, and I've seen you grow into this almost going to be an high schooler, and I see you following passion with your cricket, especially you started so late, and
Yeah.
really impressed with what you're doing.
Thank
um,
you.
yeah, keep going.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of our second episode of our Local Success podcast. It was really nice to having you give us advice about your business and about eRevival, your computer waste company. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Thanks for taking the time and being patient with me. uh, yeah, we pushed it out quite a bit, so I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to be. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.